When I was kidnapped, Dylan watches the sunrise with his new love. He told casually, "Tie her up. Don't rush to the rescue. Let her learn her lesson. Leave me alone. It's great to use." In order to live, I had no choice but to take off my clothes, arms the gang leader, begging in a trembling voice, "I'll behave well. Please don't kill me." Later, Dylan finally decided to come to me. The gang leader giggled, looking down at my unconscious body lying in his arms. She was exhausted. "Maybe I don't even have the strength to go with you." Chapter 1. The roar of the tides reverberates in dilapidated warehouses, amplified by speakers. Dylan's voice came lazily, with the light-hearted indifference of a drunken person. "Catherine, you really have a talent for drama, don't you? Yesterday, you made my mom force me to get engaged. Today you completed a kidnapping. If you want to die, go for it. Just don't interrupt my sunrise date with my baby daughter. Go to hell." Tears of fear flowed down my cheeks. Soak the ropes that bind my hands and feet. I shook my head frantically, trying to explain. "I'm not acting. This is not the setup I planned. I don't even know why." Suddenly on the media, and announce our participation. "I beg you. Just this time, trust me, please come and save me." "Hey, help you." Of course, Dylan sneered coldly. 50 million, right? I pay. Hearing his words, the kidnappers reacted quickly. After 5 hours, on Riverside in the East End. "You bring the money. We'll introduce. Forget about that girl. Keep her. No need to rush." Dylan's voice was distinctly contemptuous and sarcastic. "Let her learn some etiquette. I'm glad she won't pester me anymore. Take this money as your reward for training her." "For me. You're serious?" The three kidnappers exchanged suspicious glances. Dylan laughed coldly. There was a strange cruelty in his tone. "If you dare to hurt her, I dare to pay you." Tears flowed from my eyes. I closed my eyes in despair. "I never knew you hated me so much, Dylan." I cried and still wouldn't give up. I was literally kidnapped. "I don't need to be trained. Come and save me. I swear I'll never bother you again, Dylan." The sun rises, a bright one. A cheerful voice suddenly sounded from the earpiece. The girl on the other end of the line giggled happily. "So beautiful. Well." The sound of lips pressed against each other. "Soggy. It's so vivid," echoing in the phone on my side. It's not hard to imagine how passionate and deep this is. That kiss must be. Crushed by despair, I gave up struggling. I sat on the cold floor, staring blankly at the ring on my index finger. The only one Dylan gave me, and laughed. So, the promises made at a young age really don't make any sense. 16-year-old boy. I swore that he would marry me and protect me for the rest of my life. How he changed so much growing up. I'm sorry, Dylan. It's my fault. Thank you for loving you unconditionally all these years. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Never again. Chapter 0, Chapter 2. There was a brief pause on the other end of the line. Then it was suddenly cut off. Busy tones echoed through the empty warehouses. The three kidnappers exchanged glances. The youngest child scratched his head, completely confused. "Jesse, if Dylan wants to save her. I mean, doesn't he sound like he's threatening us?" When he said, "If you dare to hurt her." The man, Jesse, gritted his chin and spat in annoyance. Who cares what he means? All we want is money. She's the one. Dylan's family has officially announced that they are his fiancé. Yesterday's news. As long as we can get some of her videos. There's no way Dylan won't pay. When he speaks. Jesse pulled a white handkerchief out of his pocket. No warnings. He grabbed my head and pressed it against my nose. A strange, disgusting sweet smell rushed into my nostrils. Makes me dizzy. My shirt was torn. Above me, I heard Jesse gritting his teeth. Full of cruel intentions. "Stop talking nonsense. Let's play with her." But young Jesse hesitated. "We just planned to keep her for a few more days. Now Dylan is in no hurry to rescue her." "I'm just saying. What if someone inside finds out?" Jesse pulled a cigarette out of his mouth and cursed. "What if they do? You really think that rich kid is going to help us? Cleanly and neatly, leave the underworld behind. He just got new blood, fresh power. That's it. What do you think is someone from the in family? After operating on the black market for so long, you can survive cleanly. Use your damn head. If we do expose her, we give her to him. His training methods are much more advanced than ours. Oh, is that so? The door to the warehouse creaked open. A tall man in a long black coat walked in. They were followed by several burly bodyguards. His pale eyes swept across the room. There was a cold laugh in his voice. Then I'll let you experience my method today. The three kidnappers were stunned. Then he fell to his knees. Perfect sync at once. Why? Young Master Jesse's face was as pale as a sheet. He quickly pointed at me. We found this girl for you, and it's really spicy. You're going to love her. We've drugged her. She's ready. The man's brow furrowed slightly. His gaze turned to me. A hint of darkness flashed in his eyes. He has a face that can overthrow the kingdom, but that fear ran through me. Let every hair on my body stand on end. Even though my body started flushing from the medication, a shiver ran down my spine. Instinctively, I curled up and tried to pull away. He raised an eyebrow, then walked over slowly, squatting in front of me. Then he pulled a folding knife out of his coat pocket. His cold voice felt sharper than the blade itself. It can be painful. Please be patient. I'm going to send you away now. Send me away. Chapter 0, Chapter 3. Please don't kill me. The last line in my mind broke. The survival instinct ignited the last shred of courage in me. Although my hands were tied, I reached out and hugged him tightly. Tears welled up in my eyes as I pleaded. Please don't kill me. No matter how much it is, I'll find a way to pay you. I really don't want to die for the next 2 years. I beg you. The man hung his head. The eyes lingered briefly on my hand, gripping his hand tightly. He raised his eyebrows curiously and asked in a low voice, What's wrong with dying in the next 2 years? I was caught off guard. Is that really the part he accepts? But I didn't dare not answer. It's because I lowered my head and muttered to myself, the country recently lifted this restriction. People can now have up to 3 children. But most young people don't really like having children. So, if I'm dead now, there is a high chance I will be reincarnated. Enter one of those old-school families, desperate to have 3 children. I've hardly enjoyed anything good in my life. Now it's dying. That would be very unfair. The man's expression changed visibly. He was stunned for a moment. His thin lips pressed together. And a touch of entertainment. It seems to flicker in the corner. But I didn't notice, because the heat inside me is starting to build. Rise, tumble like a wave, threaten to devour. Sandwiched between the fear of death and the fear of being violated. I quickly calculated what chips I had left to play. Then, the heart beats faster. I leaned over and kissed him softly on the lips. I will obey. I won't resist. Whatever you want to do to me, it doesn't matter. The warehouse fell silent. His eyes were darkening and his Adam's apple was moving. But he didn't say anything. I bit my lip and caught a glimmer of hope. My tied arm lifted up and landed on his neck. I kissed him again. But this time, he grabbed me by the neck and gently pushed me away. Create distance between us. His eyes were deep on me, quiet and dangerous. I never intended to kill you. You still have time to regret this. I can find another man for you. But if you choose me, there's no going back. The heat is overwhelming. Right now, my eyes glazed. My body is soft. I snuggled up to his chest and shook my head. I choose you. I won't regret it, because I am destined to lose my innocence. At least keep it with good-looking people. The next second, his lips took over mine. His hands hold on tightly to the back of my head. Hotel bathrooms. The rain fell like rain. Breathless gasps. The steamy tension made the room hot. Rise unbearably. My arms were fixed to the top of my head. When he claimed me, my back was pressed against the wet tiles. Fierce and unstoppable. Even so, his fingers took time to play with the ring. On my fingers. A smug smile appeared on his lips. I've been taken away, and you dare to seduce me. In your opinion, am I a good person? Well, the warm water made it hard for me to open my eyes. My body was limp, and I could barely stand upright. My mind was lost, and I didn't take the ring. I don't want it anymore. Hee, no wonder you're the first time. His voice sent a low laugh on my lips. Then he pulled the ring from my hand. Don't you want it? Then we'll give him the money back. He let go of my arm. I slid down weakly, pressed against the solid muscles of his back for support. My moans overflowed, confused and breathless. Lazarus, that's my name, he muttered in my ear. His voice is a temptation of darkness. Say it. Ah, I shouted. Nails drilled into his back. Lazarus, Chapter 04. Dylan sat on a deck chair by the beach. A soft, coquettish voice rang out. A woman draped over Dylan's chest. She pouted when she noticed his distracted gaze. Then she leaned over and tried to kiss him. But Dylan turned his head away and dodged her effortlessly. His eyes were fixed on the phone, lie quietly on a nearby table. His brow furrowed. Catherine. Call again and I'll trust you. You have checked your phone 4 times in 20 hours. Seriously, if you're so worried, go find her. Already. In the next chair. Dominic, an old friend of Dylan. Looking at his reaction, he sighed helplessly. You tell her you want to marry her once. That sentence ignited her heart. And then you grew up. Get cold. And decided to play the glamorous playboy. Suddenly, she became annoying, clingy, and suffocating. Your reputation has been colorful over the years. Mom was worried. This is not surprising. She went to the media, forcing you to settle down. It may not have been Catherine's idea at all. I've told you this, more than my heart has become cold. No one waits forever. How many more times? Do you feel like your teen commitment can be extended and broken? Don't wait until you push her away forever, before you start to regret it. Dylan's fingers froze slightly. He lowered his eyes. There was silence for a moment, then a sneer. Regret? There is no chance. It's boring to tie yourself to one person for the rest of your life. I'll be happy if she finally leaves. Tired of her clinging to those childish feelings. From when we were teenagers. She's such a nuisance. Dominic frowned, just as he was about to speak again. Dylan was clearly not interested in listening. He stood up and opened a bottle of champagne. The fist erupted into the air, blend in with the lively atmosphere of the beach party. Dominic pursed his lips and muttered under his breath. Self-sabotaging bastards. A shadow suddenly loomed over him. Dominic blinked. Looked up at Dylan, who came back unexpectedly. His expression was elusive. Dylan picked up his phone while unlocking it. It rang, Dylan said. His assistant was at the other end. Someone just sent a package to the office. It's for you from Katerina. Dylan scoffed, a glint of disdain in his eyes. A second. He felt like the biggest fool in the world. Because she was worried about her before. It's a ring, the assistant continued. Looks like the one Catherine wears all the time. Dylan's pupils narrowed dramatically. What did you say? Moments later, a photo popped up on his phone. Just take a look. It was a ring he gave her when he was 16 years old. A childish engagement ring. He had confessed his feelings. Then, Catherine has always kept it as a treasure. Wear it often. Something strange churned in Dylan's chest. But until this feeling calms down, it is suffocated by anger. He sneered and began typing frantically in the chat box. So the fake kidnapping was unsuccessful. Try the whole push-pull strategy to mess with me. Now, Catherine, you gave the ring back to you. We're officially over. Don't bother me anymore. The message was sent out, but there was no reply. Chat boxes, which are usually filled with instant replies. Be still and silent. Dylan got angry and scrolled up. Chat. History is complete. Every message came from Catherine and was checking in on him. Care for him. Love him. His lips curled into a cold smile. Yes, right. It seems that Catherine doesn't like me anymore. This whole thing is just another show of hers. determined to teach her a lesson. Dylan turned off his phone completely, cut off any chance she has to beg or back down. Then, he jumped up in a smooth motion. Shake the champagne bottle vigorously. Pop, bubbles pop into the air. When he smashed the bottle on the sand, his arms were around the woman in his lap. Dylan laughed maniacally, unremorseful. I'm in such a good mood today. Let's have a drink. Chapter 0, Chapter 5. When I woke up the next morning, Lazarus was no longer in the room. This is the first time I have been kidnapped. So I don't know what the usual protocol is. Sleep with the leader. I should have waited for someone else to come. Pay the ransom. Or I am now bound to him for life. Or maybe. I looked around the empty room. My hands and feet are no longer tied. I might be able to get out there. Clothes were scattered on the floor. My shirt and stockings were completely torn. I had no choice but grab Lazarus' oversized shirt, then put it on carefully, tiptoe towards the door. Then, from the balcony behind me came the lazy Lazarus. Cheer. Those 3 are your people, not mine in my book. They are just stubborn, old loyalists of your former regimes, who refuses to accept my orders. Defeat them. Then I'm as easy as that. As he spoke, the balcony door opened. Lazarus walked back to the room. Before noticing, I was at the door. He casually ripped the phone away from his ear. As the person on the other end of the line was already cursing. His smile grew colder. Dad, don't forget that I'm in charge of incendiary bombs now. They broke the rules of my innocence. If I wanted to, I would turn their ashes into fireworks. You'd better not have any attitude towards me. With that, he hung up without waiting for an answer. Then he looked up and found me. He paused for a second. The darkness in his eyes was replaced by a playful smile. After sucking me dry, you're going to sneak away. I was startled and shook my head frantically. No, I'm not trying to run away. It finally hit me. Who the hell is Lazarus of the family? The top underground boss in the capital. The kind of person who lives on the blade, bloody deals, and know exactly how to make people disappear. To provoke someone like him, running away is not an option. Obey. That was my only chance of survival. Lazarus raised an eyebrow and walked towards me, slow and deliberate, step by step, until I leaned against the door. There is nowhere to retreat. His eyes fell on my lap, peeked his head out from under his shirt. His gaze darkened, and then without warning, he took me into his arms, put my bare feet on his shoes. There were guards swarming at the entrance. You were going to walk out like that? I don't think you're trying to escape. You have a wish to die. There's no way I'm going to be able to balance like this. I had to hold Lazarus by the neck, leaning weakly against the door frame. When I tried to reason with him, my voice was soft. My parents were researchers. They work in the depths of remote mountainous areas where there is no signal. Social status, high bank accounts, not so much. If we wait for them to realize I'm gone, and to pay the ransom, this may take a while. Lazarus blinked, then giggled. If you're with me, you don't need money. I hesitated. There is no ransom meaning. I had to stay with him. This is my first time. I don't really know what's going on. Should I stay here or not? Before I could finish speaking, his lips were on mine, soft. A provocative kiss brushed over me. His smile curled up on my lips and whispered, "Do you know how to date?" I froze and blinked in confusion. Then suddenly, he took me into his arms again. When he leans forward, press me back into bed. His voice was lowered to my lips and muttered evilly. So, let's follow the dating routine. Chapter 06. Until 3 days later, Dylan finally turned his phone back on. 3 days of chaos and indulgence. The whole villa looks like a pillar. The wreckage of the end of the world. It's like a typhoon sweeping in. Only the knocked glasses were left. Empty bottles and a lingering stench of decadence. He pulled his phone out between the couch cushions. Slumped on the couch. Dylan sneered and opened it. Wait for a large number of notification jingles to complete. So much information has to come from Catherine. She's always like that. Always text him. The most trivial thing. It's so annoying. This time she may have spammed him again. The jingle finally stopped. Dylan reached out and tapped the screen. Just then, a phone call came in. It connects automatically. He glanced at the caller ID. Great, his mom. It could just be another attempt by Katerina. Use her as a mediator. Dylan frowned, just about to interrupt her, when his mother's anxious voice defeated him. Dylan, have you heard about Katerina? She hasn't replied to me in 3 days. It's what's happening. Did something happen to her? His buzz immediately subsided. At least 5 levels of drunkenness disappeared in the blink of an eye. He sat straight on the couch. His brow furrowed sharply. No contact. Suddenly, a memory flashed through his mind. 3 days ago. That call about kidnapping. Catherine is still playing the game. His jaw tightened. He pressed the dial button with a heavy hand. His expression was stormy. Something went wrong. Underneath this irritation, something else is brewing. Maybe panic, but anger still reigns supreme. Catherine really went too far this time. Calls are quickly connected. But the voice that answered was not hers. It was a low, hoarse man's voice, completely unfamiliar. Dylan's face froze. His guts fell. At 3 a.m., a man answered Catherine's call. This alone confirms that the kidnapping is real. Panic surges. He clenched his fists tightly, his knuckles cracked. His voice was stiff and strained. Where is Catherine? Put her on. You didn't touch her, did you? Give me the address. I'll pay the ransom myself. There was a brief pause on the other end of the line. Then there was a soft laugh. The voice, gentle and hoarse, replied slowly, not tonight. She's been exhausted for the past few days. Even if you take a whole damn army with you. She didn't have the strength to walk out. Dylan jerked to his feet. His pupils contracted sharply. In the next second, he exploded. Do you have F*** ing touch her? Who the gave you the right? I said I'd pay the damn money. Everyone in the villa fell into dead silence. It's like someone has hit the pause button on the whole world. No one dared to move. They just stood there. Look at Dylan with wide eyes. When his entire face was distorted with anger. His eyes were bloodshot. The veins in his neck bulged. I took several deep breaths. Before he managed to suppress it. A little. He wiped his face. The sound is still. How do I pay? How do I get her back? At the other end, Lazarus looked down at the sleeping woman in his arms. He suddenly remembered the way she had whispered. Awkward and a little aggrieved. She didn't have the money to pay the ransom. He smiled faintly. 50 million, just transfer it to her account. Chapter 07. I didn't find out that I was ransomed. Until the next morning. Lazarus stood beside the bed, slowly fastened the cufflinks of his shirt, with his usual calmness, unhurried manners. And then, as if nothing special, he handed me a fully charged phone. Came back last night and has been fixed. You fell asleep in the middle of the night, so I took a call from your ex on your behalf, and got 50 million pocket money for you. My pupils dilated. I took the phone blankly. When I see more than 100 missed calls on my screen, my brain is short-circuited. They are all from Dylan. Lazarus clearly saw number 2. He raised his eyebrows, amused. Maybe I'm just good at talking. He didn't seem satisfied, as if he wanted more. That's what you call dissatisfaction. Lazarus bent down to pick up his blazer, draped casually over one arm. Crisp shirts and tailored slacks. Accentuates his broad shoulders and narrow waist. The sight alone made my cheeks red. Memories of the past few indulgent days instantly flooded into my mind. Noticing the look on my face, Lazarus smirked. He leaned down and kissed me lightly on the forehead. Relax, dear, don't tease me. Otherwise, you will not be able to walk. Later my face turned scarlet. He stroked my hair lightly, then raised an eyebrow. Elegant. Tell your ex I said hi. The classic band boss energy. Graciously. Then he quietly and calmly added, if you two dare to rekindle anything, I'll burn you both and scatter the ashes. I didn't say anything. The 3 kidnappers may have been taken care of. but they were still under the command of Lazarus. If things get complicated, it can be a problem. So he didn't escort me. I took a taxi back by myself, but I didn't get home. I went to see Dylan's mom first. Given my parents' work, long research, and isolation, no Signal Mountain labs, I basically grew up under the care of Dylan's mom, having followed Dylan since childhood. Katerina, thank goodness you're safe now. You are here. Dylan's mom held my hand tightly, flushed with guilt and worry. Dylan sat on the couch across from us, unusually silent. From the moment I walked in, his eyes never left me, darkness and bloodshot. His gaze had a deep, unsettling heaviness. His mother called him twice. He did not respond. She gave up, wiped her tears, and turned to look at me. Catherine, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't think it through. I just wanted to put pressure on that ungrateful boy. Marry you. I never thought it would make you a target for kidnappers. Thankfully, they just want money. If something worse happens to you, how can I face your parents? Bang. The couch suddenly rattled. Dylan, until now, was silent. Suddenly, something in his heart suddenly jumped. He grabbed me by the wrist and dragged me upstairs. His hands were as cold as ice. I struggled, but I couldn't break free. Dylan let go. He ignored everyone's cries of horror, then pulled me straight to a guest room, located on the second floor, pushed me into the bathroom, and locked the door. His voice was cold, but his fingers were trembling. Shower. What is wrong with you? I was completely abandoned. I pushed him away and headed for the door. I'm very clean. What is there to wash? But Dylan pulled me back, his eyes wild. Angry, like he was only a few seconds away from snapping. Where is he? I was stunned. Who? Bled? Bulge on the neck. Even saying the name seemed to make him angrier. That bastard who answered your phone that night. I almost burst out laughing. Taking advantage of his brief distraction, I broke free. Have you ever thought about it? Maybe he wasn't a kidnapper. Maybe he saved me. Dylan let out a bitter, almost crazy laugh. His voice trembled with anger. Yes, taking you to bed saved you. This is also part of the rescue process. To be honest, I don't know why he's so angry. Is it that hard to figure out? I scoffed. I was kidnapped, not on vacation. I should be glad I wasn't tortured to death. Thank God Lazarus is the one who appears. Thank God he came. Thank God he wants me. Dylan stiffened. It took him a moment to understand what I was saying. Then, his meaning was struck. His whole expression collapsed. Anger breaks and gives way to confusion. And suspicion. I don't think that's true, he stammered. I thought you were acting. You hired them to force me to get married. If I knew, I would have interrupted him with a wry smile. Now thinking back to that night, it only brought a cold, numbing clarity. You don't know. Didn't you say you were going to pay them $50 million to train me? Kidnap. This could have ended with a simple wire transfer. It became a lesson that I will never forget. Because of your word. If I hadn't been rescued, I might be passed around, photographed, humiliated again and again. Congratulations, Dylan. I learned my lesson. I will never be attached to you again. Chapters 0 and 8. Dylan is stunned. The flame in his eyes seemed to be extinguished in an instant. In its place was something dull and gray, like failure. His jaw tensed. The muscles in his cheeks twitched. It was as if he was grinding his teeth. After a long silence, he seemed to have finally squeezed the words out. It's like convincing yourself and me. Forget it, Catherine. Forget about kidnapping. Forget about the man. Forget anything that happened between the two of you. He stopped suddenly. His lips quivered slightly, but the rest of that sentence never appears. He took a deep breath. He turned his face away, and his voice softened. Let's pretend none of this happened. If you still want to marry me, that's fine. Everything else, status, comfort, lifestyle, I can give you. Just don't expect love or loyalty. For a moment, I really thought I was hallucinating. Did Dylan just say something about someone? Has he forgotten that he was the one who came to me first? He confessed that he proposed at the age of 16. Not 6. Right now, growing up, Dylan put those promises on his shoulders. It's like they're nothing. Never stop to think about what it is like to be like me. Who is deceived and truly depraved? It should have been done with a heart that had already been surrendered. It's like a stray dog that has been taken in. Given warmth and a name, it was later abandoned. Feeling cold, confused, and crying. But it's too far away to survive in the wild again. So finally, I became that pathetic creature. Chase my old master. The tail is tucked between the legs. Longing for the pieces of warmth I once knew. Sometimes I wonder, wouldn't it be better if he hadn't picked me up in the first place? I said, we don't. Anger, sorrow, humiliation, it all turned in my heart. But in the end, only silent obedience remains. I lowered my gaze and smiled, calm and composed. Don't push yourself. I've let it go. I won't love you or bother you anymore. So really, you don't have to make such a big sacrifice. It's all in the past. You can now start a carefree life. I said every word seriously, but somehow, the calm seemed to irritate Dylan even more. A hint of panic flashed across his expression. It then transforms into sarcasm and frustration. Well, aren't you talking about all the right things? Don't stick to me. You yourself believe it. You think you can really do that. If not, don't bother pretending. I never asked you to disappear from my life. I'm just saying I can't give you love. That doesn't mean me. My eyes fell on the base of my ring finger, where there used to be a ring. It's only been 3 days since I took it off, but even the faint mark has faded. Like the hope I stubbornly cling to, refusing to let go, waiting endlessly. It really only takes a split second to give it all up. I whispered. Dylan's eyes narrowed sharply. He stared at me for several seconds. And then, as if convinced that I was bluffing, we'll climb back soon. He smiled. You're the best. I replied that I had to. Although I laughed myself. Lazarus's face suddenly flashed through my mind. Otherwise he will burn us and scatter the ashes. Chapter 0, Chapter 9. From that day on, I keep my word. And stay as far away from Dylan as possible. I don't send him funny memes anymore. Or the random little things I've been sharing before. I no longer care if he's flirting with someone. Or get close to others. I stopped being in front of him for no reason. Or even a mutual gathering of friends. If he's there, I'm not there. During that time, Dylan's mom also noticed the distance. She messaged me a few times. But after a while, she understood. Eventually, she sighed and sent one at the end. I guess we just weren't meant to be. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. After all. Christmas a little over a month later. Dominic walks past my pottery studio. He was standing there. Watch me calmly instruct a group of students. Shaping the clay. He raised an eyebrow and smiled amusedly. So, Catherine, you're serious this time. You're really fed up with that self-destructive bastard. I smacked my tongue and glared at him. It's Christmas, and you're not at home with your wife. Why are you hanging out at my house? Aren't you afraid that she will run away again? After all, your efforts to win her back. Dominic's smile vanished instantly. He picked up a piece of clay, then gently tossed it onto my apron. I'm here to see you. And you're here to stab me in the heart. Dramatic sighs. He wiped his hands away and got up from his seat. Then placed a pastel pink envelope on the table. This is a handwritten invitation. You can tell that kind of writing is well written. In delicate brushstrokes. Definitely the work of his calligraphy-obsessed wife. This is our 3rd wedding anniversary. And Dylan will definitely be there. You can come when you want. If you don't understand, I'll understand. He picked up a bouquet of roses that had been set aside. Then he nodded to me. You ready? But when he got to the door, he paused, then turned to look at me. Katerina Dylan, he still cares about you. He's been carefree, rebounding one rebound after another. But I've seen him. Keep an eye on his phone and wait for your text message. I don't say this to defend him. I just don't want your years of loyalty and hard work. It finally paid off. Just for you to miss it now. So, yes, whatever you do, whatever you choose, I've got your back. If you want a fresh start, I'm going to introduce you to a new person right now. The door to the store opened from the outside. The bell rang crisply, and a gust of snow blew in the wind. Lazarus walked in the doorway. He wore a black down jacket. Snowflakes scattered on his shoulders. I'm sorry. His voice was as calm as ever. Dominic blinked. Anytime. I was stunned by Lazarus' ridiculously handsome face. Suddenly out of the woods. He quickly stepped aside and apologized. But just before leaving, he turned around and glanced at Lazarus again. A hint of curiosity flashed in his eyes, as if trying to remember where he had seen him before. Is it snowing? I smiled and glanced out the window. It snowed on Christmas Day. How poetic. Yes. Lazarus nodded, not elaborating. And the students crowded around the windows. Watch the snowflakes fall. He walked up to me and didn't say a word. Leaned over and gave me a quick kiss. His lips were cold, but the surprise in my eyes widened instantly. I feigned annoyance and gently punched him. I narrowed my eyes in warning. Chapter 10. What are you doing? There are people around. I glared at Lazarus, shocked. But he just raised an eyebrow, looked smug and unapologetic. As the secret boyfriend, you've been trying to keep it a secret. Stealing kisses is part of my basic skills. You can't ask your friends to introduce you to someone else. Now can I? I was speechless. Who is hiding what? We've been dating openly for over a month. Ever since I started avoiding Dylan. I haven't met many people, so not many people know that the bell of a wall clock is 6 o'clock. I tilted my head to look at Lazarus, then turned to my students and announced the end of the class. When the last child was picked up by their parents, the sky has completely darkened. The streets outside are brightly lit. Snowflakes dance in the air. Add a tranquil and romantic touch to the evening. Lazarus put his arms around me from behind, pulled me into his warmth. His lips brushed over my ears. The voice is deep and rich. In this atmosphere, how about a secret date? Girlfriend, TSK. This man is so ruthless. 10 p.m. I almost never use WeChat. The moment lights up with a rare update. Merry Christmas. To that passive, aggressive man, who has been hinting at formality. Attached is a photo of our hands, fingers tightly intertwined. Background op-ed. Dominic finally remembered who Lazarus was. Lazarusin took over the incendiary bomb at the age of 25, the youngest successor in history. On the day he stepped forward, he announced that he would sever his relationship with Incendiary, in the past, retirement from crime, and ordered a complete shift to legal business. In just 6 months, from scratch, he pushed. Enter the 15 most influential companies in the capital. Men like that appears in Katerina's small pottery workshop. He's not here for pottery lessons, that's for sure. Dominic's phone buzzed incessantly. The group chat exploded. Oh my God. Katerina is officially out. Also, has anyone noticed that they are holding hands in bed? 10:00 p.m. They must have lived together, right? Wait, is it Dylan? No. Dylan spent last night at my house. Drink in silence. It looks like he's waiting for news. Glued to his phone all night. The chat room was silent for a few seconds. Then someone quietly typed, and he was waiting for Katerina. The awkward silence that followed was almost tangible. No one answered. And then, Dominic felt a twist in his heart, and quickly exited the chat. Pull up Catherine's post again. When he saw the ring on her slender finger, he took a sharp breath. This bastard finally got his bad ending. The day after Christmas is the weekend. The studio was closed. I left Lazarus' dwelling and did not return home. Stop at a shopping mall. First, I picked out a 3rd anniversary gift. Dominic and his wife. Well, that's good. I might have bought someone a tie. As a belated Christmas present. Dean. The elevator reached my floor. The door slid open. Just as I was walking forward, a dark shadow lunged at me. I was smashed against the elevator wall. Before I cried in pain, my lips were rough. Desperate kisses. Well, The bitter smell of alcohol filled my nose. Dylan, his eyes were bloodshot. His hand was on my face. Kiss me with barbecue, almost biting intensity. It hurts. I frowned. Let's go. I pushed his shoulders with all my might. When he tried to force his tongue through my lips, I bit down hard. Dylan hissed, grunting, and finally let go of me. I didn't wait another second. I rushed out, but I haven't even taken 2 steps yet. Then he grabbed my wrist. What are you running? I'm not going to eat you. He clung to it and shouted angrily. I swung my arms and smashed all my gift boxes into his head. So, what was that? Yes, I lost it. Dylan snapped. Kicking boxes scattered across the floor. His chest heaved with rage. Eyes glued to my ring finger. It was like he was only a second away from ripping my throat out. Where the hell were you last night? Why don't you go home? Chapter 11. I could only blink, completely confused. Where I go doesn't seem to be your business anymore. Is it? Dylan's body trembled, trembling slightly. He slid a hand down his face. His eyes were dark and dangerous. Who is he? Again, the question is so familiar. I looked up and stared at him silently. No reply is provided. But Dylan has realized. His face turned pale. Whether it's alcohol or something else. His feet were wobbly. One arm against the wall steadies itself. Did he force you? No, we're just together now. Dylan closed his eyes, trying to stifle the collapse, brewing behind his eyelashes. Then break up with him. Don't you want to be with me? Well, we'll be together. You leave him. I'll just pretend none of this happened. He exhaled softly. It's like he's finally surrendered to something. He could no longer fight. Katerina, you win. I miss you so much. From now on, let's be together. There will be no one else. That's what he thought. Last night's post was some indulgent tricks to provoke him. Dylan, I'm not you. I know exactly how I feel. When I like you, I chase you openly and proudly. I've never been naive enough to take advantage of people. As a pawn in some kind of twisted love game. Dylan's face turned pale. His fingers curled inward. But he couldn't even make a decent fist. His eyes were red. He let out a hollow, broken laugh. No way. You like me so much. No way. You can be with someone else so quickly. I let out a low, ironic laugh. Come on. Teenage love is not something to be taken seriously. I don't want to argue with him all the time. So I turn to my apartment door and start entering your password. Beeps echoed through the hallway. When the door clicks open, a trembling voice shouted behind me. Can I start over now? This time, let me chase you. I slowly turned my head, my eyes wide in disbelief. Where was all this before? Now he wants a fresh start. Now he wants to pretend that everything is equal. Dylan looked devastated. He looked so lost. Like, he didn't even know what to do with himself. I haven't fallen in love with you yet. Or I didn't realize I already had. Dominic is right. This is the moment when Dylan is completely slapped in the face. He always said he would never regret it. But when he saw her holding someone else's hand, all he could think about was that he wanted to tear the man apart. That's his Catherine. The girl who had been following him. If he turns around, he's always there. So how did someone else steal her halfway through? Why can't he get her back? What kind of adult doesn't even know what he wants? You're not confused. You just pretend you didn't hear. Don't feel it. I didn't realize the whole sentence I love you. That's just a coward's excuse. To cover up your selfishness. From the end of the hallway, a voice interjected. Lazarus arrived at some point. Now leaning against the wall near the elevator. Arms folded, beige hoodie, black sweatpants. Yet somehow, he still manages to look like he owns it. Damn architecture. Chapter 12. Dylan's pupils contracted sharply the moment he saw Lazarus' face. A flash of wariness flashed in his eyes. He recognized Lazarus clearly. Jesse's voice came over the phone that night. The one who mocked and provoked him without fear. Hey, Lazarus. It turned out to be you. Lazarus smirked. Raised 2 fingers and salute him casually on the forehead. There was that naturalness in his expression. Relaxed robe charm. Nice to meet you, Mr. Ex-boyfriend, who only knows the regret after losing everything. Dylan's face darkened instantly. Lazarus did not even acknowledge the change. His eyes drifted lazily on gift boxes scattered across the floor until they land on a tie, those who were tossed aside. He looked up at me with a look of amusement in his eyes. For me, this is a public gift. I puffed out my cheeks and muttered, no. Oh! Lazarus replied softly, but bent down anyway. Grab a tie and hang it around your neck. Then he came over and stood next to me, completely unmoved. Tie it for me. I rolled my eyes and pulled him towards the apartment. You're wearing a hoodie. What are you doing with your tie? Do not worry. I look good at everything. The door slammed shut behind us. I didn't turn around, but I still heard faintly echoes of broken whispers behind the door. But you've learned how to tie one for me. Thanks to a certain sharp little suggestion from Mr. On. I ended up participating. Dominic and his wife's anniversary party. Lazarus wore a crisp, perfectly cut suit. His tall and majestic figure instantly attracted everyone's attention. The moment he stepped out of the car, Dominic walked over and smiled warmly and held out his hand. Nice to meet you, Lazarus. I'm Dominic. Lazarus responded to the handshake with the same enthusiasm, but from his mouth came out of his mouth. Makes me want to bury my face in my hands, right? You think the tie looks good? Yes. Catherine gave it to me on the day we officially announced our marriage. Jesus. This man is good at small talk. And very good at holding grudges. Dominica may not have figured it out yet. It's all about giving back that little bit. Let me introduce a person. Christmas new line. The party gradually filled up and was full of energy. With a background like Lazarus, it is impossible to avoid small talk, even if he doesn't want to mix and forth. People kept pulling him into the conversation. I found a quiet corner for myself. While nibbling on tiramisu, he looked at Dominic on the stage, holding his wife's hand and crying like a baby. In good faith. I'm a bit emotional. Dominic used to be a world-class F. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk boy. The way he chased his wife has always been cruel. But in the end, he won her back. A figure approached me. I don't need to look. I already know who that is. I had looked forward to this moment, the moment I decided to come. Compared to that drunken mess last night, Dylan is at least decent today. But the exhaustion on his face, the bloodshot in his eyes said it all. This man is not doing very well. Kathleen Dylan said my name. His voice was low and tense. He looked up at the couple in the stands, then looked back again. To me. He slowly raised his hand. A ring rests on his open palm. He has faint red dents on his skin. He must have just tightened the money too tightly. Let's get married. That offer. I know I'm years late, but I won't let you down again. I will treat you well for the rest of my life. Only you. Chapter 13. I slowly lowered my fork. Suddenly, I didn't want to eat anymore. Then I reached for the ring I had been wearing. With a sudden flash of hope in Dylan's eyes, I turned around. Walk over to the floor-to-ceiling windows and walk through it. The ring draws a clean parabola in the air. Splash quietly before landing. In the pool, Dylan staggered. His already pale face lost the last shred of color. Lips trembled, and words rolled out in panic. Catherine, I was wrong. I swear I know I was wrong. I didn't know how to cherish you before. I'm a fool. I'm changing. I'm chasing you again, but you've blocked me. Even now. He couldn't bear to think of that moment yesterday, when he finally mustered up his courage, sent a message, and came across that bright red exclamation mark. It shattered his last bit of hope. Catherine, I'm not asking you to forgive me right away, or take me back, but at least leave me away. There is only one way so that I can do it well, so that I can chase you again. Turn left at the first junction. A cold, mocking voice interrupted him. Before I deal with it, I was pulled into a firm, warm embrace. Lazarus hugged me tightly. There was possessive arrogance in his tone. He raised an eyebrow. In Dylan, A visit to the crematorium is required. I'll even collect your ashes for you. After Dylan's little performance, Lazarus and I couldn't linger any longer. We didn't want to ruin the party, so we politely said goodbye and left early, not going home. I asked, watching Lazarus glance down at the GPS. No, I'm in a good mood tonight. Take you to the beach. We'll watch the sunrise. I actually believed that romantic lie. I mean, technically, yes, we watched the sunrise. But he never mentioned what would happen before sunrise. In the car, in that frenetic, chaotic moment, Lazaro reached out and held my hand. Then something cold slipped onto my ring finger. My mind cleared for a moment, and then when he intertwined our fingers, he melted again. Pull me down from the beginning, Dominic called, just when the sky began to lighten. I curled up on Lazarus' chest, completely exhausted. When I answered, my voice was still heavy. What is this, Dom? But it's not Dominica on the other end of the line. That's another mutual friend. Catherine, you should come and see Dylan. He jumped into the pool and tried to get the ring out. You spent hours there. It's winter. How long do you think a person can last? In icy water. As soon as he came out, he fainted. He had a high fever in the hospital. I mean, you two did grow up together. Come and see him. Yes. I pursed my lips and said calmly. Is he conscious? If yes, give him the phone. There was silence for more than 10 seconds. Then came Dylan's voice, weak. His voice was hoarse and he burst into tears. Katerina, I found the ring. I found it. Can you, Dylan? I interrupted him gently. You've really used all the tricks these days, huh? Stop doing all these useless things. You ruined my sunrise date with Lazarus. The phone was completely silent. I was also stunned because it was then. I glanced down and saw the diamond ring, glittering on my ring finger, bask in the golden glow of the newly rising sun. Lazarus put his arm around my waist, pulled me closer to his chest. With the other hand, he ran his finger over the ring. The voice is deep and magnetic. You're wearing my ring. This means that the rest of your life is officially mine. If you dare to run, I smirked and raised my eyebrows. I know. You will scatter my ashes,